Okay, right, let's get going. Let's keep it just conscious of time. I want to keep it on time for everybody, so it's half an hour. So thank you for joining. As usual, just want to say that, this is a really open forum. I'll sort of run with the first 8-10 minutes or so, and then we'll throw it open for questions. Just please, if you, the only failure here is a failure to participate. So, just try and get involved. If you've got questions, please raise your hand, put them in the questions box, and we'll address those. There's a load of experience and knowledge on this forum. So I will answer the questions where, how I feel best, but then we'll throw it open to anyone else if you want to put your hands up and also, bring in, contribute with your knowledge and experience as well. It'll be much appreciated. So this is really set up for business owners, like yourselves, to just have somewhere to come and talk about any challenges or questions or anything you've got. So, okay, so let's crack on. I'm just let's launch a poll just before we start. Where are we? Let's poll 2. Okay, so as today is a bit about mindset, I want to ask you a question about some mindset. So how is your mindset today and right now? Are you positive? Are you negative? Is it like a roller coaster? Are you feeling overwhelmed, or basically you've got no idea because the mindset's all over the place? So I'll leave it a few seconds, 10-15 seconds, to let everybody, results are coming in. Okay. It's good to see. So at the moment, still waiting for a few to come in, but we've got 56% are positive. Nobody's negative, which is awesome. So I think, if we'd have run this poll 2 weeks ago, I think we might have been in a different place. Like a roller coaster, 33%. Now I can relate to that as well, right? So I'm remaining positive through this, but to be honest, it's very challenging, right? So I think it's only human nature to be a bit of a roller coaster as well. One day you just wake up and you're just not feeling yourself for whatever reason. You've got to work to snap yourself out of it. And 11% is feeling overwhelmed. Okay, so I think that's understandable as well. We just need to work out how we get around that and what we can do to fix that. So thank you for that, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to share a different screen. You're all in for a bit of a treat today. You're going to get one of my my awesome diagrams, right? Which I know you all love so much. Let's have a look. Okay, if you can put your hands up when you can see my screen, which says the word perturbation. Brilliant. Excellent. Thanks, James. Thanks, Becky. Thanks, Laura. Thanks, Dan. Okay. Okay, so perturbation. Now, this is a word that I hadn't heard of until a few years ago, basically. And I thought we'd talk about it now because I've had a few clients, a few business owners that I speak to all talk about, we all know how important a great mindset is. And it's something that's come up in the polls over and over and on these sessions as mindset as being something that people would really like to work on. So if we've got a great mindset, we can do great things. If we've got a bad mindset, we can spiral out of, into a very dark place. So I just want to run through very quickly about perturbation. So what is perturbation? So the scientists are going to absolutely kill me for this description. But basically, I like to simplify everything, as you know. So, it's actually, it's the changing of a matter through an external source. That's the most simplified way of doing it. Now, if you want to YouTube it and Google it or whatever, it's going to come up with some crazy theories by scientists, etc. But I'm going to try and simplify this for you now. So, basically, I'm going to do one of my amazing diagrams. So if this is a pan of water, okay, we've got water here, and then we've got heat, which is basically the external source. The water is the matter, which we're talking about, and you've got the external source, okay? So what happens is, we all know that, I'm not teaching how to suck eggs here, but as we all know, that as the heat continues on the water, it's going to start to boil, okay? Well, it's going to start to simmer before it boils. Now, we could turn the heat down and the water will stay as water. Or we basically keep the heat on, or even better still, we increase that heat. Now, as we increase that heat, the water is going to start to become steam. And that is the change that the matter has made. Now, that will never, ever return back to water, because once that change has been made, it's forever in this case, okay? Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, okay, well, what's that got to do with me, my mindset, and my business? So I'm going to try and explain that. So this is you, me, okay? You're the matter. Now, this heat that you're feeling at the moment, which, to be fair, could be even more than usual, is the pressure, even, whether it's financial, okay? It could be your environment. It could be your marketing, how to do marketing. It could be sales. It could be all of these things. It could even be your health, okay? Because, we're all stuck indoors. We all feel that we should be doing more and more for our health. We're not getting to the gym. We're not, I, for one, used to swim a lot. I'm not doing that anymore. So, you're feeling this pressure that you should be doing all of these things. The outside environment is totally different to where, we talked about the identity iceberg in one of these before. So one of these sessions. So, the external source is all of this pressure that we're feeling at the moment. Now, the human brain is designed to survive, right? So our tendency, our natural instinct is to run towards pleasure and run away from pain. So the temptation is to turn the heat down, turn our backs on what's happening, turn our backs on the pressure that we're feeling. And that's why I'm seeing some of these business owners making a crazy decision in my eyes to hibernate and mothball, terms that we've never even used in business before. But, the temptation, the overwhelming temptation is to say, I don't need this. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to improve. But actually what we really want to be doing is recognizing that we're in this state and saying, right, I'm going to either keep the heat on or better still turn it up. Because once you turn it up, you change forever, okay? And you can't unlearn what you've already learned, what you've learned now. So this is now you. I'm going to show their muscles, by the way, right? This is like the new you. I don't know how else to explain that. But my drawing capabilities let me down. But my point is, if you can learn about whatever it is that you're feeling right now, and you can turn that into actions, and you can turn that into plans of how you're going to change those things, you're going to come out of this a better person. Absolutely, no doubt about it. A better person, a better owner, business owner, and you're going to recognize when you're in this state. Because the thing about perturbation is, I'm afraid, it's not a once in a lifetime experience. We feel perturbation every single time that we experience something new, we take a new direction. The outside environment, for instance, not as drastic as COVID-19, but we all have there's downturns, there's certain industry downturns or changes, regulatory changes. Anything we do, any change we make to become a better us involves going through perturbation. So it's going to happen over and over throughout our lives. The important thing is that we recognize it and we know how to deal with it and manage it.